All right, welcome to my first video from Poland. Dave, what's up?
What's up, Adam?
We've had quite the journey. You just having just lost brakes on the Nürburgring and drove 14 hours?
Yeah, we decided to do a complete streetcar JZX around the Nürburgring, and one lap we toasted the brakes, did 14 hours with no brakes. But we're here, and you decided to run through every airport in Europe.
I need to give a little bit of context. I had a layover in New York City and the flight going there got canceled. So I was gonna miss the entire test day, which, as you know, I'm here for Drift Masters, probably the biggest drift event to ever happen in the world. And I wanted to go into it with testing. Because of missing the flight, it meant I had no testing. So I rolled the dice and I flew to Frankfurt knowing that there was like 30 minutes between another flight. Wouldn't let me book it because they were too close together. Full sprint, 2,000 steps, on the airplane drenched, and I made the flight like 2 minutes. And we're here.
You get the train in it.
I know.
So that's the test day of the body. Now it's the test day of the mind behind the car.
All right, before I show them how cool this car is, give a little backstory to what I'm driving and how this came about.
Okay, so we had a conversation about you coming as a wild card to Drift Masters. It's the biggest drift event in the world, and we said, we've had so much fun with the World Tour stuff this year. You stepped into a borrowed car in Ireland, you did really well. I said, what if we up the game, give you a proper Drift Masters level car, step into the arena, the big arena with all the big boys, and David Sposov's team, who are a national pro team from Poland, have a very, very good car, very good setup. Drift Masters got in touch with them, we all made it happen, and then we talked to you and you said, let's do it. And we had to put a little bit of LZ flair on the car as well.
All right, I'm about to show you guys, but I'm super, super fortunate. They've got the whole team out here, a teammate's car that's identical, and look at how cool this thing looks. It's literally like if you mash the E36 and the S15 together, and it is a very, very nice car. I love it already. It's very good.
Hello guys, Wojtek.
Wojtek. All right, Sposov Motorsports is your company?
Yeah.
Okay, and I said it right, Sposov?
Yeah.
So you build these cars like, how did you say before, production? Like, this is the 5th one or 6th one?
7.
And you build these cars for customers, and this is the latest and greatest.
It's the formula.
So let's give a little walk around. What?
Only porno is here.
Only porno.
What does that say?
I said only porno in here.
Oh, porno. I thought he said power noise. All right, he's got a sense of humor. I like it.
Porno.
All right, so we got a 3-liter 2JZ,
Yeah.
but it's got nitrous.
Yeah.
And you call it nitro here?
Yeah.
All right, so that'll work as a spool aid. I'm excited about that. Wide fab front and rear, and then the inside is beautiful. It's got a Quaife sequential left-hand drive, which I'm actually very excited about since I've been driving a lot of left-hand drive. Super cool. That's a big nitrous bottle. But yeah, rear mount radiator. This thing's the real deal. I'm excited. This is a very nice car.
Formula, so very European spec 2JZ wise fab nitrous, all the power, all the lock, and a very small track that you're going to inside a stadium, so it's going to be interesting. But these things go really well. It's very similar to Peter Wiensek's car. He's the 2-time champ, obviously, here. So these guys are all in you know, they're kind of making the cars work out the box. So I'm interested to see how you get on this thing. And today is a bit of testing, right? So nothing on the line, but I know you want to get into the nitty gritty of it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm super excited and very, very, very thankful. So thank you again. Yeah. So a little context of where we're at too. We're at a test track kind of in the middle of nowhere. Peter's here as well. A couple other drivers are testing out cars. I'm apologizing for being a little out of it. Literally just woke up. It's been a long travel day, but I'm so excited to get in this car, and it looks so cool and it's so nice.
One of the first ways that I get a feel for the car is by trying to warm the front tires up. This right away kind of gives me an idea of how much front grip there is, so I kind of know what to expect the front end to feel like. Upon first driving the car, the first thing that kind of stood out to me is the lack of front sway bar. In addition to it making it have a lot of front grip, there's just a lot of body movement and stuff that I'm not used to, since I usually run a pretty stiff front sway bar in the front of my cars. Their tuner asked me to do 2 different laps, one without nitrous on and then one with nitrous on, just so they could collect some data. So this first lap that you're about to watch me do, there's no nitrous on, but mind you, the nitrous only acts as a spool aid, so it doesn't actually make more power, it just makes the turbo light up faster. Here we go. next lap, you'll see the nitrous is on, and you'll notice it's a little bit snappier through the mid-range, but I can definitely feel a difference more than you guys can probably tell through the camera. On this car is very good. I'm super critical of JZ's because I've driven some really good ones, and I have to say this thing is very snappy, makes a good amount of power, and has a ton of resolution, so for the grip that we're running in the car, I feel like it's really well balanced. For my lead runs, my main focus was trying to drive the car through the corners with my foot flat to the floor as much as possible with as little handbrake as possible. More wheel speed equals faster, bigger angle, better qualifying score, and harder for people to follow. This one I think was actually a pretty good lap.
So good to see you.
No, wait.
What?
Like that.
Not a glove? It's okay.
No, it's the right one. Oh, it's so tight, so hot.
You look so good out there.
It will be a sweaty one.
All right. How's the car? Good?
Yeah, it's good. We are very happy that we could test it, especially with you, And how is the car for you?
It's good. Power's amazing. It's a little weird. I'm used to a front sway bar.
Yeah.
So a lot of movement, and then just getting like the cabin stuff dialed to fit me, but the power is amazing. The grip is really good.
That's good.
So I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, if you have a power in the grip, that's all you need,
You're not wrong.
You just need to control the car. But I think it's S15 still. It's
Yeah.
It should be controlled.
Oh yeah. Well, it's always great to see you.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. Cannot
Hopefully
wait.
get some battles
See you in
in.
action, exactly.
I know.
Fingers crossed for that. So have fun.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Chasing on this course was pretty challenging because if you weren't entering side by side, because of it being all inner clips, there's really nowhere that you can cut corners to catch up. So if you start with a little gap, there's almost no way to close it.
Will be able to tell from that last GoPro footage, but I put on the tires that will actually be running in Drift Masters, and they are hooked up. They're allowed to run a much stickier tire than we are in Formula Drift, so the cars have quite a bit more grip, which is going to come in handy because it's such a small, tight technical track that you can actually use the grip. So at first, I was feeling like the car had way too much front grip with no sway bar and really sticky front tires. Now it feels pretty balanced, so I'm excited to get some tandem with the grip set up.
After changing tires, the vehicle picked up so much speed that I felt like I was running at a wheel speed to stay in drift smoothly, so I tried running fourth in this lap, which I think was a little bit too boggy for the motor, and after this lap I decided I needed a gear change. A little bit more wheel speed with a grippier tire is exactly what I needed, and you'll see after this lead run I had my two best chases, and that pretty much wraps up our day here at the testing place.
gonna need to add a little backstory when I say this. But first question for you is, how much power does this car make?
This car?
Yeah, like 800-ish.
I'd say 8 and the rest, yeah.
Okay, like, there's gonna be a follow-up to the statement. This is the fastest drifting I've done. The most hooked up. However, when I say that, I think what we do with the RTR Mustangs and what we do in Formula Drift is a different type of speed. This car would not be able to drift at the grip and speed that we drift in Formula Drift. However, this is like the equivalent as if we took the RTR Mustang, then put it on like a go-kart track, and then went like all in on everything suspension and tire-wise. It's just like, it feels like I'm drifting around the compound, but with a car that's more gripped up than a Formula Drift car.
It's a strange thing. It's obviously different cultures, right? Different styles. That's, everyone talks about FD Drift Masters, FD Drift Masters. They found their own way through different regulations. These tires that we used in Europe are probably the stickiest tire in world drifting. If not, the Japanese have a couple of different layers on top of that. But the cars here have got a formula. It's very grippy, and obviously with Peter being the champion, Peter was the fastest, everybody got faster, that's how it works. And there's a little bit less regulation than FD in terms of where you can go with that power and weight, right? So you can go light and you can go grippy without kind of worrying about it.
So just to give you guys some sort of realm of comparison, to drift like Irwindale with this setup, this car would probably need like 1,800 horsepower. That is like and I think that's like an accurate statement to make. It is that ridiculous. But these tires, they also would probably last like one lap at Irwindale. Yeah,
that's a big problem we have with some tracks here, is that the tire management. I mean, can you actually do 2 laps of the track? We've watched chunks fly into the air on the last corner, and we've had some issues with people hitting people on the last corner, just no tire left on the lead car. But this is kind of the formula for how drift cars are built in Europe. Big front grip, big rear grip, everything set to the max. It's like a drag car with an angle kit, and then the tracks aren't so big sometimes, so it's tough to drive, very tough to chase.
Yeah, so I was doing those laps with David, who has the matching car, and he's a phenomenal driver, but I have to say, like, that was some of the most challenging drifting I've probably ever done. Because like there was no sweeper, we're basically doing 2 inner clips with one of the fastest, grippiest cars I've driven that I'm not comfortable with. And like having to just transition bumper to bumper. I had 2 runs towards the end that I was really stoked about, and those are the runs that you guys just watched.
But you're probably concentrating so much on him.
Yeah.
And we're looking from here going, you are moving. Like,
we're going so fast.
So fast. Like, the thing is, just, it's like about to take off at the end of the runway. And then I'm going, they're doing this at that speed, which is crazy.
Well, and you know too, inner clips, you can't surge to the inside to like make up ground. So you basically have to be on full throttle the whole time, going so fast it feels like you're gonna fly into the Poland wilderness, and just have confidence that he's a great driver. So towards the end, I was just like, I'm just gonna stay flat, and like they took the front bumper off, so I ain't worried about running over cones. And
now remember, 55 of these on these tires in a stadium with 55,000 people, 9 stories high, all walled, no wheels off, or your car's in the bin. And that's what we got ahead of us this weekend. So I'm glad you got some testing today, because look, you're coming in at such a disadvantage. Everyone else has driven their car, driven on these tires. You're trying to do it all in a half hour. So it's a big challenge to take on, but today looked pretty solid to me.
Well, and the good thing is the car's power is sick. The drivetrain is great. The angle and front end, like brakes, everything feels pretty good. It's really just like dialing in the cockpit.
Yep.
And like we're sitting what I feel like is really good.
Think about it.
I've driven way worse cars before and done way better.
And I'm thinking, like, your steering wheel and your seat are the easiest 2 things to change on a car mechanically. So you got time. You got 2 days before the start of the event. So you're going to be feeling comfortable. That's going to be another level of confidence for you.
Yep.
But it's so cool to see you here.
Dude, it looks so cool too. Like,
you know what? This car last year, I was going to the same while you were out there. So this guy, for some reason, a lot of guys run these cars super jacked up, and no one's a fan of that. But he runs them super low. Last year, they had to have special rubber mats to get him into the stadium because the car couldn't even get onto the track.
Can you go put your foot under the side skirt just to like show them? Because I feel like video doesn't do it justice.
So for a full top level car, like that is, like, that's not normal.
You know what's funny about it though? And like, this is the argument that Chelsea always has, because people call our Mustangs high. The Mustang is actually lower than this is chassis-wise.
Oh yeah.
But the body panel makes it look higher.
I used to have an RTR and
oh yeah, you know the same thing.
I lowered it and then you can't move. And you're like, oh, sorry, the frame rails are on the ground. So you can't do it with a Mustang, but with these you can deck them down. And I think with the livery and everything, I think it just brings a bit of your flair to it.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking car to start with.
It's so cool. I'm stoked. Great driving. Very impressive. Like, I was having to really work to keep up. You're super fast. Thanks. So you'll be driving this weekend in the stadium, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited.
Powiedz, że ja zbyt po angielsku nie gadam.
Okay.
Yeah, Chipka, sure.
Yeah, I little speak English.
Okay. Just to add context to the first part of the video, this is the JZX that they drove all the way from Ireland. Isn't there a body of water?
Yeah, it went on a train under the sea.
No, that's not a thing.
Onto a train under
That's
the sea.
not a thing.
Channel Tunnel, look
That's-
it up. It's a thing.
Is it actually?
From the UK to France, you go on a train. It goes
So from the UK, but how do you get from Ireland to UK?
That's a ferry, yeah.
Okay, that's, see, I thought
No
there was
train there.
I thought there was a train or a tunnel and everyone thought it was crazy.
So this car has done 4,500 kilometers with 3 men in it. And this is Josh Holdsworth's Nürburgring experience, by the way.
What happened?
All the brakes.
You just
from the
lost
front.
them?
He just absolutely shredded the brakes.
And 110s are cool. This is a 110, right?
It's a 110 Kazama promo demo car from Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
You popped the hood?
It is a standard under there.
Is it?
What I mean,
I still want to see it.
You still want to see it?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Look, I can admire a stock 1J.
And she's also killed every single bug from here to Ireland on the way too. So
Have you gone to Ebisu?
I've been there but never drifted there.
Why don't you come to Matsuri with us?
I'd love to go to Matsuri with you guys.
Can you put it on your calendar?
Yes.
Like right now.
Yes.
Like pull your phone out. Screw the hood.
Like,
Like literally, like put it in your phone right now.
date?
Put it in his phone. All right, now you can show us the engine.
So this is a stock 1JZ factory manual, 45,000 miles.
That's Strut Braces aftermarket. You got a pod filter.
That's a few bits. Nothing too crazy. Cas diff, BC coilovers, and 3 very tired men driving around. But it was fun. We got to do the whole trip, and we're giving the car away at the end when we get to the stadium, so it's quite funky. So
Oh.
it's cool, and it's very unique. I think it's the only kit like this in Europe. I think this was the car they built to show this kit off.
Yeah, it's a neat car. So anyway,
The weirdest rear fenders you've ever seen. Have you ever
yeah,
seen anything like this?
yeah, I did notice that's like half door.
They just went, they did all this just for this.
Yeah, but I admire it. It makes it flow
It
better.
makes it flow better, but I always feel
But they should have just done the whole
it's a
door.
very hard cut.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything went pretty smooth. There's Josh's tea along the side of it, which he left a cup in a petrol station in the middle of the night. We drove off, and the tea just went down the side of the car. But
Look at this rig.
this you've outshone me here, though.
Damn, this thing, it literally reminds me of my FDS 15 and my E36 if they had like a baby.
Yeah, if they just got together and said, you know, let's use the best of both worlds here.
Hey, for being in Europe, this is like a crazy rig, is it not? 'Cause I don't ever see big rigs like this.
Come to Drift Masters this weekend, you're going to see about
Really?
40 of these, yeah. It wasn't a thing 3-4 years ago, but now everybody's got them.
Yeah.
Because of the distance they're traveling with the championships and stuff, it's just makes sense.
I think I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Obviously there's a lot of Poland for me left to experience. I know when I go to other countries and I just post drift stuff, a lot of you guys are like, you gotta experience the culture. Literally straight up, rushed straight out of the airport here to make sure I could get some testing in. And then I'll have 2 days of kind of chill time to wander around and do some other stuff before Drift Masters this weekend. But I'm excited to share it with you. And this was a really cool day and I'm very fortunate to be out here and to get to compete in the largest drift event in the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you soon.